Hey Tamers, and welcome to today's video. Today we're talking about yellow staples in the Digimon TCG. We do have quite a lengthy of list here. I'm going to go try and breeze through them as quickly as I can while still talking about them and obviously explaining why you should get them. Right off the bat, let's just start off with the babies. And some cards I chose that are going to be staples for certain type of decks, right? So for Pikmons, for example, it's going to be fantastic for any of the cross-hard decks just because when you attack and the Digimon has cross-hardness trait, you draw one, right? Why don't you always want to draw, right? So the reason why is although level 3s that are cross-hards, they'll have kind of that black box, right? That alternate Digivolution requirement. I'll say if this Digimon has, could Digivolve from X cross traits for, da-da-da. So that's why Pikmon's are going to be fantastic for cross-hard decks. Moving on, we got Upamon. Upamon, when attacking, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, trigger, draw 1. This card is good, and it just really shines when you build decks like, for example, Pulsemons that kind of focus on being at that 3 security mark and lower, because then you're always going to be able to draw 1. Viximon. Oh, I love Viximon, especially in the Sakuyamon deck because you're always playing, plugins. So Viximon isn't just good for Sakuyamon decks, right? Just being able to play an option card and then being able to draw from playing it, so long as it's 2 costs or more. Moving on, we got Tokomon here. This one I just put, if you're going to build a DP reduction deck, the Digimon gives it 1000 DP. Not necessarily a staple. I kind of don't know why I threw it in here. I was just looking at the, if it gets deleted, you get 1000 DP, but scratch that card. Let's move on to the rookies here. And Patamon from BT1 might be a little expensive now, I'm not too sure, but being able to play it and reveal 4 cards, and then if they're all tamers, you get all yellow tamers. This was really good for Shine Greymon when it first came out. I think it was BT3. It was fantastic, and as you all know, Shine Greymon is making a comeback with Ruin mode. I don't know how much play we'll see from here, because you may use different tamers that are not just yellow, but nonetheless, Patamon is great just being able to pick up more than 1 tamer. Up next, we got Labramon. And this one is kind of that DP again. If you delete a Digimon by dropping his DP to 0, you get to draw 1. This card is fantastic if you are focusing on DP reduction decks because then it just allows you to draw. Straightforward. Up next, Salamon. The play cost is kind of where you're like, eesh, but it is a 0 play cost. This was used a lot with Rookie Rush and kind of security control decks, because on deletion, if you have 3 of your security cards, you recover 1. So it's kind of kept you in the game longer, and it was a great card to have. I would splash 1 or 2 in some of my yellow decks, depending on how aggressive I want to make my deck. Up next, just another Salamon that's good for DP reduction. When attacking, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 1000 for the turn. What's cool about this card is it is not once per turn, so it can be, if you're able to restand and attack again, now you're decreasing 1000, as many times as you attack. Up next, we got Lopmon. On play, look at the top card of your security stack. You may add that card to your hand and then trigger draw 1. So essentially, you're drawing 2 cards, or getting 2 cards, I should say. You're just drawing 1. But being able to kind of look at your security stack, like if there's a Mega there, and you play a Lopmon, like, okay, well, there's a Wyvern's Breath. There you go. There's a Wyvern's Breath there. I'm going to leave it there. So that way when they attack, and now I'll get rid of it. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of a strategic way of playing a Lopmon. What's cool, it also helps you reduce your security cost if you are playing the decks that focus on 3 security or less. And then, of course, we all know Lopmon's coming back, or Terriermon. There's more support coming out. So pick them up now while they become more expensive. Up next is a Bushiagumon. Now, you're not really ever going to drop this card for 5 unless you have the memory. If you have the memory and you only need 1 more swing, if you have enough yellow memory boost, you just get rid of the yellow memory boost. Now you go from 3 to 5. Now you can drop that Bushi and kind of do a hybrid for game, because Rush is obviously lets you attack the moment you bring that card into play. So it's just absolutely phenomenal for sure. Really good with decks like Mastemon. If you have that level 5 Angelomon that lets you play, a level 3 from your hand. So there's ways to play him for free. Up next, we got Lucemon from BT4. It is a secret rare. Well, you have 10 or more cards in your trash. When playing this card from your hand, reduce it by 8. So 5. So, so there you go. So if you do play it and you have 10 in your trash, it costs 5. It's good with purple decks, obviously, because then you have the Lucemon that's a level 5, right? But this card is fantastic. Again, if you're using that Angelomon deck, you can play Lucemon for free, and then that triggers a recovery +1. It doesn't, there's no restrictions on how to recover +1. It's just simply play it and you get it. And then the downside, obviously, is it can't Digivolve up or down so long as it doesn't have a Lucemon in its name. Up next, we got Cutemon. Just prevent Death X from coming out when you have a big board, right? It's preventing to reduce Digivolution costs. So even for Cross Hearts, this card is phenomenal just because the more you cross, then you reduce Digivolution costs. Cutemon prevents that, and they have to pay the full cost of the play cost. There's a lot of P's there. Up next, Starsmon. Starsmon is good for example, Lord Nightmon. When you already have a wide board, you play a Starsmon, then for each one that you have, you minus 1000 DP on one of the Digimon. So it's a good kind of like a tech card to reduce DP. Sometimes I would use it if I couldn't swing over a Mega because I have 11,000, they have 12, or they have 11. Or 13, whatever it is, and I have 2-3 Digimons, I'll play that Starsmon. Still being my turn, I'll reduce that DP, and now I can swing over it. Pulsemon, you may trash cards from top of your deck until you reach 3. Not top of your deck, security. So this one is good for those decks that you want your security to be between 3 and less. And then obviously the inherit allows you to get jamming. So this is fantastic because now you can swing freely with jamming. And pretty much it. Up next, we got Pillowmon. All turns, just players can't play Digimon by effects. It's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Because it also affects you. You can't play stuff from Digimon effects. So be cautious when you are playing Pillowmon. Moving on, we got Patamon. Just being able to reveal 4 cards from your deck, adding Angel, Archangel, 3 Great Angels. This card is just good if you're gonna go for those types of decks. And then we're finally starting to see more support for Seraphimon, so you may see more play from this EX1 Patamon. That's why I threw it on there. It's good for those Angel Archangel type decks. And then Patamon from the promo one of the first promo ones. This one you could honestly settle for Salamon, which might be a little better. This one on play, if you have 1 or fewer security cards, trigger, draw 1. And then Pulsemon here, this was, man, when this Pulsemon came out, this was almost like $80 a piece or 40. I forgot what it was. It was between 40 to 80, and it was expensive. I remember, I was gonna get them, and it was like 120 for like 3. I was like, I'm gonna wait. Anyway, this one on play, if you have 3 or more security cards, trigger, draw 1. If you have 3 or fewer, you gain 1 memory. And yes, if you do have 3, both of the effects do trigger. Keep that in mind. It's not one or the other. It's really just depending on your security. This was good for Lord Nightmon decks or any decks that allow you to play level 3s for free, because now you could reap that reward from that Pulsemon on getting a draw, and a memory. Salamon, really I just have this here, just being able to DNA Digivolve. Obviously this came out in the Mastemon deck. And again, we don't know how far we're going to get into the TCG to the point where they make many DNA decks or cards, right? So stocking up on Salamons that give you the inherit, being able to DNA at the end of your turn is not a bad move. Moving on, probably the most used Patamon, not probably, it is. The most used Patamon from starter deck 3 is this one. Once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted, by dropping a 0, gain 1 memory. This comes up frequently, and it comes up a lot, actually. It's fantastic for Zakuyamon decks, and obviously for any DP reduction decks, it's a must for that Patamon. If you guys do have any questions, or if you guys feel like I forgot any cards that you think are staples, let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you guys do like videos like this. These are very time consuming, but I love doing them. Anyway, let's move on. Dino Human from BT8. This one was one of the first few cards that we got, or it might be the first one that's a dual color with red. So now this kind of came into play. We're like, man, I can use Gaia Force on the yellow deck. And I was like, although, I mean, you really don't see it because he's a champion. But anyway, being able to attack and then still reduce 1,000 DP. So now you could stack that with that Salamon. And what's cool is that it allowed you to go into red ultimates or yellow ultimates. So Dino Human is really good to get. Not to mention he is a Dragonkin, which was really good for Black War Greymon deck. I think this is going to be a staple for the Cross Heart decks, just because when you unplay it, if you have another Digimon or Tamer with Cross Hearts in its traits, in play, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3,000 DP. So what does that mean? You're going to get rid of all the Madoki Betamons, you're going to get rid of all the Sayakumons, you're going to get rid of the Pillamons, if it's 3,000 or less. Point is, you're going to get rid of all the Floodgate cards just by playing this card. And it's a 4 cost, but it's a champion. And then on deletion, obviously save. And then, of course, there's the Shoutmon. Again, it's just more for the on-play that I think this card can be staple for a Cross-Heart deck. Moving on, Gatomon, same thing as a Salamon, just one attacking, reduce your opponent's Digimon by 1,000 DP. So you kind of see how these kind of stack, right? And actually do have a deck list of a Yellow War Greymon if you guys do want to check that out. It's just a DP reduction deck, and it's phenomenal. It's beautiful. Up next, we got Torimon. If I said that right, it is just a 1-cost champion that's 6,000 DP. It's a vanilla card. Then we got Pidomon. Pidomon is just a cost of 1 to get a blocker. And so Pidomon could be used obviously for a blocker, for memory choking, and of course for digivolving up as quickly as possible. So he is a nice card. Up next, we got 8mon. 8mon is insane, okay? What makes him insane is that 8,000 DP. And yeah, that's it. That's all. 2 costs, and now you got an 8,000 DP champion. Up next, hybrid for game, we got Kazemon. Of course, you would want to pick those up. Neferdimon. This one I put here for the armor purge. Not only that, if you do have, for example, the Salamon that you do minus 1,000 when you attack, you're already decreasing it by 2,000. You're adding the 1,000 from Salamon. Now you can get rid of a Betamon, you know, any Floodgate card or any card that has 3,000 DP or less, and you're attacking. And now, if you do attack and you do get deleted, or in this case you're not because you have Armor Purge, you'll revert back to champion rookie level. Gatomon, just a vanilla 4 cost, and 2 to evil. Obviously, there's probably better ones, but just decided to throw this on here. Unimon or Unimon? Unimon? Let me know. Unimon, right? Anyway, Unimon, just a blocker, 6,000 DP. Self-explanatory. Magnamon. I was thinking, I'm like, okay, well, can this really be a staple card if you're not running an armor deck? And the answer is yes. Reason is because when you digivolve, he unsuspends, and the rest of that effect is for armor purge, right? So even if you don't have an armor purge deck, you can swing. So for example, I would see a lot of people do this where they'll have the jamming Vmon. They'll swing with the jamming Vmon. They'll digivolve into Magnamon. That Vmon, or now Magnamon unsuspends, and you could either attack again or you can leave it as is. But just being a blocker in an armor purge is nuts. It really is. Moving on, Rapidmon. Oh, Lord. If you have a deck that runs a lot of Tamers and it's yellow, you need Rapidmon in there. When digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon for each Tamer you have in play. Then, up to 3 of your opponent's suspended Digimon get minus 5,000 DP for the turn. For one of my friends that I play with, this is probably the only card that he actually hates when I use. Everything else he's like okay with, even if he loses, right? I could be using like Black War Greymon or anything else. He won't get annoyed, but when I play this, he just gets annoyed at triggers him. And of course, just having Armor Purge. So Rapidmon is just insane. It really is. Up next, Gatomon. Having that end of turn DNA is a plus. But now you have the on play, reveal top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 yellow Digimon card and 1 purple Digimon card among them to your hand. It doesn't state grab 1 Fallen Angel, 1 Archangel, or 1 Angel from them. It just simply says a yellow or a purple. Then, when this Digimon will digivolve into a card with Archangel or Fallen Angel and its trace, reduce the memory cost Digivolution by 2. So now if you digivolve to any, I believe it's Lady Devamon, for sure Angelomon, you can reduce it by 2, just costing 1. So you're kind of paying up front for that Evo here, because I know it's a 3 cost. Busted, yo. Up next, we got Rise Greymon. Rise Greymon, when Digivolving, you can play 1 yellow tamer card from your hand without paying for its cost. The downside of this one is that any on-play effects on the tamer can be played using that effect. Now, this Rise Greymon is actually better, depending, because it doesn't restrict you playing the on-play. However, you have to Digiburst, right? So you do lose your inherits. However, you can Digivolve from a yellow and or red. The downside of this is if you're not playing red megas or yellow Digimon that could Digivolve from red, then this becomes a kind of a brick. So that is why I just threw in this Rise Greymon here. Although the other one is just as good. This one you're allowed to keep all your, I was about to say your security stack. Your inherits, damn it. So anyway, and then while you have 3 or more yellow tamers in play, this Digimon gains security attack +1. Really good for that Shine Greymon back in BT2, it looks like. BT2, BT3 when it came out. It was good. Just because also back then you didn't have any removals for tamers. There's no way to get rid of tamers. Now there is, even though it's not much. I mean, you just have Black War Greymon and then very, very limited cards that delete tamers. Other than that, there's no way of... I'm surprised I haven't made a Digimon that says, you're able to attack a tamer, but then the tamer doesn't have DP. So anyway, let's keep moving. Antlermon, just a vanilla, 2 costs for Evo. Now we're getting into the ultimates, right? Angelmon, this one, pick this one up. I love this card. So when Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus security attack +2. That's insane because that can actually save you for 1 turn if you were about to lose. And not to mention, now you have an ultimate. Now you can potentially build up to a mega, and now you can turn the tide of, of the duel, match, whatever you want to call it. Then when attacking, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, you may play 1 yellow level 3 Digimon card from your hand without paying for its memory cost. So this is the Angelmon that I was talking about. Now you can play that Pulsemon, you can play that Lucemon when attacking. So far as you have 3 or fewer security cards. And obviously you can even play a Pillowmon or anything like that. Shakomon, the first Shakomon we got from BT3. This one is, man. So it's also treated as blue, and then all of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards gain security attack -1. This was clutch for like a Hexablow. Since it's also being treated as blue, when you swing, you can still activate that Sora and Joe and strip. Therefore now, leaving them with no inherits, so now they can't swing or they have security attack -1. So really, really slows down your opponent on game, but don't forget that they can still attack your Digimon and delete them. Here we go, War Greymon, Digiburst 2. One of your opponent's Digimon gets -4,000 for the turn. Comes in clutch, especially if you want to, swing over something. If there is another, I don't know, there's a mirror match and now there's another War Greymon on their end, it attacked or what have you. Digivolve, Digiburst, now give that one 4,000, now you could swing into it. And it's just a fantastic way of deleting Digimon just by dropping them to 0 if they're level 3 or 4, so long as they have 4,000 TP. And then not to mention, all those other inherits will trigger, so here's where like Patamon would wouldn't because you Digiburst him by 2. Anyway, forget that. So, and then inherit, you have 3 or fewer security cards, this Digimon gets 1,000 TP. It's not the best, but still pretty good. That's Sophie. There's a reason why I got hit. When Digivolving, if a card with hybrid in its trait is in this Digimon's Digivolution card's recovery +1. So this card, fortunately, I didn't play against many of like yellow hybrid, but like it was annoying. It was annoying. And it was annoying. But Jet Sophie, even just having 1 in your deck, if you're still kind of hybrid heavy, is a game changer. Up next, we got the Shakomon, the new one from BT8, the DNA one. So you can DNA for 0 from level 4 yellow and a blue. Then when Digivolving, if you have 5 or fewer security cards, recover +1. That's just if you Digivolve it, not just DNA. Then when DNA Digivolving, return one of your opponent's Digimon whose level is less than or equal to the number of cards in your security stack to the owner's hand. It got to the point where one of my friends was DNA'd and he had 7, and he was able to obviously, get rid of a level 7 or lower Digimon and put it back to my hand. It's just busted. When attacking one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP for the turn. That's also busted, right? You could incorporate this with a yellow or Greymon, and when you swing, that's another minus 6. Now you're doing minus 9 just for attacking, and then you swing again, that's another minus 3. So now that's 12,000 DP. Oh my god. That's interesting. Okay, up next, Slash Angemon. This card saw so much play, and even though its DP is weak, man, this card got some W's. When digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 8,000 DP for the turn. Do digibursting, right? Get minus 4,000. Just by digivolving, you're deleting a Digimon with 12,000 DP or less. It was insane. And then not to mention, if they attacked and it's suspended, you just digivolve, minus 8,000. What can't you swing over at that point, right? Slash is phenomenal. Maid mode or Mikomon, Tsukuyamon, just being allowed to play an option card with plug in its name. It's yellow or 5 costs or less, and then it goes into the security stack. Is just super busted. When attacking this Digimon, may digivolve into Tsukuyamon in your hand for a cost of 1. This card is just more obviously. I have seen it in like Venus, in the Venus deck list, so you can use it in other deck lists besides just Tsukuyamon decks, and that's what makes this card a staple. And then again, just being able to kind of recover at the same time being able to play that option card is busted. Venusmon. I think it's a good tech card to have for sure if you don't want to do like a full Venusmon deck. Although if you do, you're not doing anything wrong in doing that. When digivolving, all of your opponent's Digimon gain security attack minus 1. Opponent's turn. All of your I forgot to read. I forgot to read until the end of your opponent's next turn. They get security attack minus 1. Now, during your opponent's turn, all of your opponent's Digimon can't activate when attacking and when digivolving effects. That's nasty. That is nasty. Magnadramon. This one's good for security recovery decks or even just a tech card if you want to throw in there. Because when you on-play it, if you have 3 or less, now you're just recovering 2. When attacking, you may play 1 yellow level 3 Digimon card from your hand without paying for its memory cost. So I also splashed this card in my yellow War Greymon deck, I believe. It's really clutch. It's just doing what Angelomon does as an inherit, and you get to recover. Obviously, the play cost is the downside, but sometimes even when you just hard play it, you still end up winning just because you're recovering. Now, if you're even at 3, you go back to 5. Shine Greymon. Obviously, the biggest card to go against would be a Black or Greymon because now you're just popping tamers, right? But when digivolving, suspend all of your yellow tamers. For each tamer you suspend this way, activate the following effect. One of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 4,000 for the turn. What made this great was he's basically a nuke, right? He comes in, there's a white board. He just wipes everything so long as you have enough tamers to do it. Then during your turn, you get 1,000 DP for each tamer you haven't played, not yellow tamer. It's also busted. Pick these up because we're about to, there's been leaks or, pictures out there that are showing burst mode. And I know we got ruin mode, but burst mode I think is going to be just insane. And he's definitely going to play off of this Shine Greymon, so why not? Cherubimon. I actually use this in the yellow or Greymon deck too. If you have seen that decklist video. When attacking, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, place 1 yellow Digimon card from your trash on top of your security stack face down. That's crazy. Because it's like, okay, well, I'm going to attack. You got, whatever it is, I'm going to put a Omega there or a card that activates with the security effect. It's insane. Just being able to, the way I use this Cherubimon, I used it with the yellow or Greymon. So if I were to attack with the yellow or Greymon, get him to unsuspend, I'm taking from my security stack, and Cherubimon was a way to recycle that, keeping me able to kind of play out yellow or Greymon's effect. Now, obviously, the hard part is having 2 megas at the same time, but it is doable depending on the deck you're playing against. War Greymon. Man, I love this card. When it first came out, I was like, ugh, it has 11,000 DP, but that doesn't matter. It does and it doesn't. It matters because then if you swing it into anything 11,000 and up, you're kind of screwed, right? But then cards came out where you can reduce DP of the security, and it just made it so much better. When attacking once per turn, you may add the top card of your security stack to your hand to unsuspend this Digimon, and have one of your opponent's Digimon get minus 6,000 for the turn. So what I would do is if they had, for example, attacked with Pyodramon, right? That's 12,000 DP, or any card you want to put up, you want to think about that's over 11,000 DP. They attack. What I do here is it's a risk, right? But I'm going to swing into security, use this effect, unsuspend himself, give that other card minus 6,000 DP. Now, hopefully, fingers crossed, if the War Greymon survives, now you can swing into that card because you gave it minus 6,000 DP. So that was kind of a combo I always went with that War Greymon. It was pretty clutch. Or obviously, if you need to close out game, you only have him and there's only one, you can swing, unsuspend, and then go for game. So War Greymon is nice. Also, obviously, you can Digivolve it into X Antibody. Just throwing it out there. Up next, we got Sukuyamon from BT5. I think this one is great just to be able to slow down the game. And just giving your opponent's Digimon when they move up from the breeding area security attack -3. It's insane. Now, don't forget, you can still get attacked, but just being able to stop them from taking your security does a lot. Then your turn, all of your opponent's security Digimon get minus 3,000 DP, which is fantastic for this card because, hello, we have 11,000 DP. The hell are you going to do with 11,000 DP? Moving on, we got Lord Nightmon. I think, oh my god, Lord Nightmon was like a force to be reckoned with from like BT5 to 7, I want to say. Maybe even up to 8. Not so much. But, man, it was dominating for a few sets. When attacking, you can play a yellow level 3 Digimon card or yellow Digimon card with Warrior in its type from your hand without paying for its memory cost. So that's how you were able to play Nightmon since he's a level 5. And yeah, you were able to do a lot of stuff. All turns for each other Digimon you have in play, this Digimon gets 1,000 DP. So this card was fantastic for flooding boards. You want Pulsemons out there. You want, you want a Lucemon to recover. You name it. So long as you were able to obviously meet the requirements, you're able to play it. And then in doing that, you're getting a DP increase with that Lord Nightmon. Insane. There was this option card that came out. I think it's called Electric Rush or something like that. It has Pulsemon in there. That with Lord Nightmon, it made it good because now you can unsuspend and then swing again. And of course, giving you more DP. So Lord Nightmon is its own deck. It's not necessarily a staple card that you can just throw in any deck, but it's just good on its own. Dynasmon. I probably said it wrong, but Dynasmon. When Digivolving, you may trash the top card of your security stack to reveal the top 6 cards of your deck. Add up to 2 level 6 or lower Digimon cards among them back to your hand. And then obviously you put the rest in the bottom of your deck. Here's his good effect. All turns, once per turn, when a card is removed from your security stack, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, trigger recovery +1. So this is cool because if they were to check your last security, now you just replace it and they need to attack 2 more times for you to actually lose. And then just being able to search is awesome. My girl, Sukuyamon from EX2, I love her dearly. Dearly. When Digivolving, unsuspend one of your Digimon. And for each tamer you have in play, return 1 option card with plugin in its name from your trash back to your hand. There are so many combos you can do with this. I have a deck list. Check it out if you want to see how Sukuyamon plays. And your turn, when you use an option card with a cost of 2 or more, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3,000 for the turn. Mind you, that can stack. It is not once per turn. And yeah, that with Miko mode, it's insane. Check it out. Check my deck list out for that. Up next, we got a promo from Ophanimon. This one, really, I wanted to add because when you Digivolve, if you have a tamer in play, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 5,000 for the turn. Totally doable, right? When attacking, one of your opponent's Digimon and all of your opponent's security Digimon get minus 2,000 for the turn. I have been thinking of making a deck list with this for a while since I saw it. Just like that Mats with Metal Garurumon. Every time you attack, you can decrease 2,000 DP. Not only for a Digimon, right? But for your security Digimon as well. So now so long as they're not 13 and over, you're good when you swing. That's insane. Not to mention, you can obviously stack it with other cards, right? To further reduce the security. Magnamon X Antibody, he's busted. So opponent's turn, when an opponent's Digimon attacks, if a card with armor form in its trait or X Antibody is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, you may switch the target of the attack to this Digimon. Then, all turns, when this Digimon would be deleted, you may place the top card of this Digimon on top of the security card face down to prevent that deletion. Yeah, I'm not going to say much on it. It's insane. Mastemon. Again, so obviously the Magnamon X Antibody and Mastemon aren't staples where you can put in every single deck. The reason these cards are here is because decks on their own, for example, Mastemon is a top tier deck without a doubt. If you do end up wanting to do a Mastemon deck, this is it. This is it, at least for now. Obviously, down the road there's going to be more. Anyway, you can DNA. When Digivolving, place one yellow or purple Digimon card from your trash on top of your security stack, face down. Then if you DNA'd, you may search your security stack for one level 5 or lower Digimon card and play it without paying its memory cost. Then shuffle your security stack. What's cool is that you can play Lucemon, the level 5 one, play that for free. And now you can pop something from his effect. You can play the other Lucemon and recover +1. There's just so many strategies that you could do with this Mastemon that makes her insane. Then all turns, when you play another Digimon using an effect, delete one of your opponent's Digimon whose level is less than or equal to the Digimon's level that's played. So now you play that level 5 Lucemon, use that to delete a level 6, and now you can delete a level 5 from Mastemon's effect. It's, oh my god. I actually do have a Mastemon deck. I just never made a decklist video for it. I don't know. I just never did. There's more support coming out for it, especially with the Tamer. Then I think that's when I'll kind of get back into it and actually do a decklist video. A lot of decklists that I haven't done, it isn't because I don't want to do them. It's just I know there's more support coming out, and it's gonna make the deck better. For example, that purple, purple and red Gallantmon support that we got. It's, man, I'm so mad that like it's good, but it's just mediocre. I'm not gonna get into it in this video, but let's move on to the option cards. Lightning Paw. Lightning Paw was really good. I saw a lot of play back in BT2 with Rookie Rush, just being able to delete 3 of your opponent's level 3 Digimon for 4,000 DP for the turn. Not as much play now, but you never know when white boards are going to come back and they're going to be a thing, especially with Rookie Rush. Against D-Brigade would be phenomenal. Tactical Retreats, I'm pretty sure it got hit too. Maybe it didn't. I don't know. I forgot if it got hit. Let me know down in the comments below. Tactical Retreat. Place one of your Digimon on top of your security stack face down. Trash all of the Digivolution cards of that Digimon. Security trigger, recovery +1. This was good for extending your life, right? Or extending the match. Now, obviously, there's Digimon that activate in the security, and if you have them there, then you can just swing, and then you can use Tactical Retreat to put it back into your security, so when it does get hit, now you're activating that security effect. And what's cool about it is that it just says one Digimon, not one yellow Digimon. So you can end up putting like a Corgemon in your security stack with Tactical Retreat if you somehow have a deck that has it. Up next, we got Spiral Masquerade, another card that punishes your opponent depending on how many Digimon you have. So this is more catered towards Lord Nightmon, obviously. This could actually be good for a D-Brigade if somehow you have yellow in there, because for each Digimon you have in play, activate the following effect, which is one of your opponent's Digimon get minus 3,000 DP for the turn for each one that you have. Really good card. Reinforcing Memory Boost, I'm not going to spend much time on this at all because it got hit. There's a reason. Being able to reveal 2 cards, get one into your hand, and put another one in security stack is stupid. Then delay, you get 3 memory, not 2. Wyvern's Breath, being able to delete Digimon that are protected. Even if they can't get deleted by effects, you still reduce the DP, right? And by Digimon ruling is a Digimon can't exist if it has 0 DP, therefore it gets deleted on its own. So even though if a card is protected by getting deleted by effects, you can still play Wyvern's Breath, decrease the DP, and it will delete itself that way, if that makes sense. So Raven's Breath is just a fantastic card to have. Up next, we got Yellow Memory Boost, reveal 4 cards. Just being able to search through your deck. I don't know why I keep waving a pen, I guess because I was writing stuff, but revealing 4 cards from your deck, just being able to go through your deck and then gain memory afterwards. Holy Flame. One of your opponent's Digimon gets minus security attack plus 3. So perfect for Grandis Coagamon, right? And then the security, all of your opponent's Digimon gain -1, I'm sorry. This getting hit in the security, oh my god, it's like a slap to the face for your opponent. Because if they're about to swing for game, your last card is Holy Flame. Now all those Digimon have minus security attack -1, and they can't close the game out no matter what they do. Man, that Holy Flame costs games. Up next, we got Chaos Degradation. And yellow and purple, I know, a cost, but you place one of your opponent's Digimon face down at the top or the bottom of your opponent's security stack. If you do, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. This bypasses cards that you can't return back to the deck, or you can't necessarily delete by an effect, like Gaia Force or anything like that. You're just able to put it in the security stack and then just trash the top card of the security stack. It's insane. And then obviously the security, you may place one of your opponent's Digimon face down at the top or bottom of its owner's security stack. So you just don't, obviously trash it. I'm having a brain fart right now. So for example, for Examon, they can't activate Evade on this because you're not deleting it. You're just removing it and putting it on the security stack. It's busted. Up next, speaking of busted, Sunrise Buster. Got limited to 1. I wonder why. You may play 1 yellow or red tamer, and then one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP for the turn for each yellow and or red tamer you have in play. This card was stupid. I understand why it got hit, but I wonder what they're going to start doing where they limit to like 2 instead of 1, or like 3 instead of 4, But I totally get why this got hit. Probably the best, if not one of the best, yellow tamers is TK. Leaving you at 3, and then on play, you're able to look through your stack, your security stack, and recover +1. The downside is, and I'll say this now, if you get a card that is not yellow, you can't recover +1. The other downside is you have to get a card, right? It says, then reveal 1 card and add it to your hand. It doesn't say may. Again, for Digimon and the way text is, that's the key. If it says may, then you can do it. If it doesn't say may, then you have to do it. Up next, another tamer that's up there, TK and Kari. If you have fewer security cards than your opponent, gain 2 memory. This is good because now it pressures your opponent to be forced to either win in kind of 1 turn or suffer and give you extra memory that they don't want to give you, and that memory can be costly. Your turn, when one of your yellow Digimon attacks, you may suspend this tamer to have one of your opponent's Digimon get minus 1000 DP for the turn. So another card that could add on to those cards that give minus 1000 DP. They add up. I know it's 1000 and doesn't seem much, but they can all add up, trust me. Then the last tamer of this list, we got TK. During your opponent's turn, all of your security Digimon gain minus 2000 DP. Now, you don't see much play with this one. However, for example, if you're going to end up doing like Shine Greymon decks, you will see this one because they're low cost. And if they swing into your security, now more than likely they're going to die because you're getting a DP buff on your security stack. Insane. Let me know what you think of this yellow staples. Don't forget to check out the other ones, and I'll see you guys on the next staples video.